టైంలో ఏ విధంగా హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలి ఇంటర్వ్యూని అనేది నా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చెప్తాను, జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. మనం మెయిన్స్కి ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యామో ఇంటర్వ్యూకి కూడా అలానే ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి. మెయిన్స్కి ఎంత కాన్ఫిడెంట్గా ఫైనల్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ అప్పుడు ఎగ్జామ్ సెంటర్కి వెళ్తామో అంతే కాన్ఫిడెంట్గా వెళ్ళాలి. చాలామంది ఇంటర్వ్యూ తక్కువ అంచనా వేస్తారు, లేదా ఎవరో వచ్చి హెల్ప్ చేస్తారు ఇంటర్వ్యూకి, ఎవరి ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ మనకు పనికొస్తుంది అనుకుంటారు. అది రాంగ్. అండ్ నేను చూసిన వాళ్ళ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏంటంటే ఎవరైతే ఎక్స్టెంపోరల్గా బాగా మాట్లాడగలరు వాళ్ళకి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో ఎక్కువ మార్క్స్ వస్తాయి. మీకు ఒక చిన్న ఆలోచన చెప్తాను, ఒక చిన్న విషయం. ఇప్పుడు మెయిన్స్ ఆన్సర్ రాసినప్పుడు ఒకసారి మనం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసి వెళ్ళిన ఆన్సర్ ఎగ్జామ్లో వస్తే మనకి ఎలాంటి ఫీలింగ్ ఉంటుంది? ఒకసారి మనం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసాం, సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఎగ్జామ్లో వచ్చింది, మనకి ఎలా ఉంటుంది? అలానే ఇంటర్వ్యూకి మనం ఎంతైతే మనం ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి వెళ్ళామో అంత ఎగ్జామ్లో ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. ఇంటర్వ్యూని కూడా ఒక ఎగ్జామ్ లాగా చూడాలని నా ఉద్దేశం. టేక్ ఇట్ యాజ్ అ ఫుల్ లెంత్ మెయిన్స్ ఎగ్జామ్ రాదర్ దాన్ జస్ట్ అన్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ. మనం ఎలాంటి వాటికి ఎక్కువ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తామంటే ఏ డ్రెస్ వేసుకోవాలి, తర్వాత ఎక్కడ మాక్ తీసుకోవాలి, వీటన్నిటికీ ఎక్కువ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తాం, అసలు విషయాన్ని తక్కువ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తాం. సింపుల్ థింగ్, వాళ్ళు అడిగే క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయంటే మన డాఫ్ అనేది మనకు బైబుల్. మన డాఫ్లో ప్రతి పాయింట్, ప్రతి వర్డ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. డాఫ్ 1 అండ్ డాఫ్ 2. సో ఫస్ట్ 50% 60% ప్రిపరేషన్ మన డాఫ్. తర్వాత కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్. ఇప్పుడు ట్రెండింగ్లో ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిలేషన్స్ లేని ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఉండదు. ఐఆర్ అనేది ఇప్పుడు హిందూ పేపర్ ఇప్పుడు ఓపెన్ చేసిన ఈరోజు 3 ఆర్టికల్స్ ఐఆర్లోనే వచ్చాయి. సో ఈ క్షణం నుంచి 2 to 3 నేషనల్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్, 2 నుంచి 3 నేషనల్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ ఖచ్చితంగా చదవాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేనే ఇంటర్వ్యూ బోర్డులో మెంబర్ అనుకోండి, ఎందుకంటే నేను చాలా మాక్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్లో చాలామంది డిఫరెంట్ వాళ్ళతో నేను చేశాను కాబట్టి చెప్తున్నాను. అడుగుతారు హిజాబ్ ఇష్యూ, డూ యూ సపోర్ట్ కర్ణాటక హైకోర్టు జడ్జ్మెంట్? హిజాబ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎసెన్షియల్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ రిలీజియన్ అని అడుగుతారు. అలానే ఉక్రెయిన్ వార్ ఉంది, డూ యూ సపోర్ట్ ఇండియా స్టాండ్ ఆఫ్ అబ్స్టైనింగ్ ఇన్ ద యుఎన్ఎస్సి రెజల్యూషన్ అంటారు. లేకపోతే ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్ మోడీజీ బ్రాండ్ బాగా పెరిగిపోయింది, 4 స్టేట్స్లో విక్టరీ చూపించారు అంటారు. లేకపోతే ఆమ్ ఆద్మీ పార్టీ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ పాలిటిక్స్కి కొత్త నాంది, కెన్ ఇట్ బికమ్ ఎ నేషనల్ పార్టీ? విల్ అరవింద్ కేజ్రీవాల్ బికమ్ ఎస్ ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా? కెన్ హీ బికమ్ ద ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్? వాట్ ఆర్ ద క్రైటీరియాస్? వాట్ ఆర్ ద పాజిటివ్స్ ఇన్ హిమ్? అలాంటివి కూడా అడగవచ్చు. సో నో క్వశ్చన్ విల్ బి ఆస్క్డ్ ఇన్ వెయిన్. ఏ క్వశ్చన్ కూడా కావాలని పనికిరాని క్వశ్చన్ అడగడు, ప్రతి క్వశ్చన్ అక్కడ కౌంట్ అవుతుంది. సో మీరు క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ప్రిడిక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇంటర్వ్యూలో అదృష్టం ఏంటంటే ఒక 10 sets ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ మీకు తయారు చేసుకుంటే క్వశ్చన్ ప్యాటర్న్ చేంజ్ అవచ్చు, కానీ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ప్రిడిక్ట్ చేసేయచ్చు. ఆ టెక్నికే ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, ఉదాహరణకి మీకు ఎఫెక్టివ్నెస్ ఆఫ్ జెనీవా కన్వెన్షన్స్ ఆర్ విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు వార్ క్రైమ్స్ 4 ఉన్నాయి. అసలు ఫస్ట్ మీకు జెనీవా కన్వెన్షన్స్ 4 ఏంటో తెలియాలి. అలానే ఈజ్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ లా స్ట్రాంగ్ లా అంటాడు. ఇంటర్నేషనల్ లా ఉండి కూడా, ఇంటర్నేషనల్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఉండి కూడా ఇలా అయిపోతుంది ఏంటి వరల్డ్ అని అడుగుతాడు. ఓకే, సోవరెన్ స్టేట్ సిస్టమ్ అంటే ఏంటి అంటాడు. సార్వభౌమ దేశాల మధ్య పుతిన్ ఎవరో కంట్రోల్ చేయలేరా అంటాడు. పుతిన్ చెప్పాడు రష్యా ఈజ్ రెడీ టు సెల్ మోర్ ఆయిల్ టు ఇండియా, రష్యా ఈజ్ రెడీ టు హ్యావ్ మోర్ ఫ్రెండ్షిప్ విత్ ఇండియా రీసెంట్గా. దానికి సంబంధించి ఇప్పుడు వెదర్ ఇండియా షుడ్ యాక్సెప్ట్ ద కాల్ గివెన్ బై పుతిన్ అండ్ పర్చేజ్ మోర్ ఆయిల్ ఫ్రమ్ రష్యా, ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ రావచ్చు. అలానే నిన్న మెటర్నల్ మోర్టాలిటీ రేట్ సంబంధించి ఒక రిపోర్ట్ వచ్చింది, ఇండియాలో ఎంఎంఆర్ తగ్గుతుంది, వీఆర్ వెరీ హోప్ఫుల్ అనమాట. నేషనల్ హెల్త్ పాలసీ, సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ గోల్స్, వాట్ స్టెప్స్ షుడ్ బి టేకెన్ టు రెడ్యూస్ ఎంఎంఆర్ ఇన్ ఇండియా? ఇంకా తగ్గించాలంటే ఎటువంటి స్టెప్స్ తీసుకోవాలి? ఇఫ్ యూ బికమ్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కలెక్టర్ మీ హెల్త్ సిస్టమ్కి ఎటువంటి అడ్వైస్ ఇస్తామని. నాకు ఒక డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కలెక్టర్ తెలుసు, చాలా మంచి వ్యక్తి, శరత్ గారు అని చెప్పి, తెలంగాణలో. ఆయన ఎంఎంఆర్ తగ్గించడానికి ఆ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్లో ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు ఇన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ డెలివరీ వెళ్ళడానికి ట్రై చేశారు. యూ కెన్ టేక్ ద రోల్ మోడల్స్, యూ కెన్ టేక్ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. మంచి రోల్ మోడల్స్ని, మంచి ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కూడా అక్కడ మీరు తీయొచ్చు అనమాట. దానికి మీరు ఎక్స్టెన్సివ్గా లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ వరకు మన ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్లాసెస్లో గొప్ప విషయం ఏంటంటే చాలామందికి టాప్ మార్కులు వచ్చాయి, మీరు చూసే ఉంటారు. దానికి కారణం నేను కాదు, టీం వర్క్ ఉండేది. టీం వర్క్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు అందరూ ఉంటారనుకోండి, ఒక టాపిక్ ఇస్తాను, అందరు డైవర్స్ ఒపీనియన్స్ చెప్తారు. ఆ టాపిక్ అందరు చదువుకొస్తారు సీరియస్ తీసుకుని. అంటే హిందూ పేపర్ ఎడిటోరియల్ పేజ్ మొత్తం చదువుకోవాలంటే అందరు చదువుకొస్తారు. ఇప్పుడు విశ్వనాథ్ ఒక టాపిక్ చెప్తాడు, శివప్రసాద్ ఒకటి చెప్తాడు, కార్తీక్ ఒక వ్యూ చెప్తాడు. ఈ వ్యూస్ అన్నీ కలిపి అందరు నోట్స్ రాసుకుంటారు. అందరూ నోట్స్ రాసుకున్న వాళ్ళే, ఇంటర్వ్యూకి 2-3 నోట్బుక్లు కంప్లీట్ చేసిన వాళ్ళే. వాళ్ళకి మంచి మంచి ర్యాంక్స్ వచ్చాయి, ఇంటర్వ్యూలో టాప్ మార్క్స్ వచ్చాయి. మీరు గమనిస్తే దానికి కారణం ఇదే సీక్రెట్. సార్ టీమ్ వర్క్. ఇంటర్వ్యూ ప్రిపరేషన్ అనేది ఎలోన్గా మనం ఎంతో దూరం పరిగెత్తలేం. ఒక గ్రూప్ లాగా ఉండి రోజు గంటలు గంటలు డిస్కషన్ జరిగేవి అసలు. సో నాకు చూడటమే చాలా అందంగా అనిపించేది. చాలా బ్యూటిఫుల్గా డిస్కస్ చేసేవాళ్ళు, నీట్గా. సో ఆ టీం వర్కే ఇప్పుడు కూడా మీరు చూసుంటారు, ఆ టీం వర్కే ఇంకా కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది అక్కడ కూడా, అది వేరే విషయం. కాకపోతే ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇస్ అ టీం వర్క్. గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్. సో ధీరజ్ సార్ వచ్చారు. సార్ ఇంటర్వ్యూలో వన్ ఆఫ్ ద బెస్ట్ మార్క్స్ వచ్చిన సార్. అండ్ ప్రతి ఇయర్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ సెషన్స్ సార్ తను బిగిన్ అవుతాయి. సీరియస్గా సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యాక ఖచ్చితంగా ఒకసారి ధీరజ్ సార్ అవైలబుల్గా ఉంటే పిలుస్తాం అనమాట. సో ధీరజ్ సార్ నుంచి సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. సార్ విల్ టెల్ యూ ఆల్ ద టెక్నిక్స్. ఇంటర్వ్యూకి సంబంధించి టెక్నిక్స్ మొత్తం సరే మాట్లాడతారు. తెలుసా సార్? ధీరజ్ సార్ IPS మహారాష్ట్ర క్యాడర్. సో లక్కీలీ సార్ ఈజ్ అవైలబుల్ హియర్ అండ్ వీఆర్ ఫార్చునేట్ దట్ యు ఆర్ హియర్ ధీరజ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ కమింగ్. అండ్ కొంతమంది రాలేని వాళ్ళు ఆన్లైన్లో వింటున్నారు, కాబట్టి వాళ్ళ సౌలభ్యం కోసం ఆన్లైన్లో కూడా పెట్టారు. సో ధీరజ్ సార్ విల్ టేక్ ఓవర్ ఇన్ 1 minute. 1 minuteలో ధీరజ్ సార్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు.
Yeah, good evening everyone. So I think my name is Dheeraj. Okay, so your results are yet to be out, right? Why do you get so dull? First of all, okay, that is the first thing that comes up in personality test. Okay, and if you get to meet a very new face and a very, you know, in kind of unfavorable circumstances, even then you'll be expected to have a smile on your face. Okay, you need to present yourself in a very pleasant manner. Okay, a smile, little confidence on your face. That is what is emotional intelligence, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, that is the reason why this has been redesignated as personality test, not interview. So first you'll have to understand the basic logic behind this rechristening of, you know, interview into personality test. Why? What is the reason? Can anyone tell? Why is it not an interview anymore?
It's not just a question and answer session. Rather, they are also analyzing what is not being spoken there about our like how we are responding to their questions and how well we are being, like how composed we are while answering the tough questions or like out of the blue questions like that.
Very good. And what is the logic? Why?
In the first 2 levels, they have actually tested our aptitude. Now they are going to test our attitude.
Okay, but why?
In daily basis, you need to interact with a lot of individuals.
Exactly. This is the reason. As civil servants, you will be expected to be facing lot many individuals belonging to so many socio-economic strata of the society, political figures. Okay, and you know, you don't know what kind of circumstances you would be, you know, put into because of as part of your job profile. That is the reason why you will be tested on those traits. Okay, your sharpness, not just your intellectual sharpness, but your emotional sharpness, okay, your situational sharpness and alertness, focus, your ability to express and communicate, your ability to connect with people. Okay, you should be a person, should come across as a person who can get that connect with the people. Okay, so you don't understand through the questions. If I ask you about the hijab row, you will start answering in a certain manner. Every one of you will have a certain style of answering that particular area. Okay, if you end up just quoting, you know, what are the provisions of Karnataka Education Act and what was the verdict, main features of the verdict of Karnataka High Court, or what are the religious rights that are constitution protected, and end up there. That is not it. In a comprehensive manner, you need to go across. You know, what is the fundamental thing? What does Islam speak, and how it has been reinterpreted through the ages, and how various other elements permeated into these interpretations, as happens with every other religion. Okay, sati was evil in the Hindu religion. Yes, it was not there in Vedic scriptures. Sir, no. Sanatana Dharma, the basis, foundation of whatever Hindu values which we follow in these lines come out of Vedic religion or the Vedas or the Sanatana Dharma that got evolved over a period of time on this land. Yes, similarly, Islam has its own tenets of practice. Now that's how you come across, that's how you talk, that's how you compare and contrast, that's how you try to analyze and come to a conclusion if the hijab is needed or not. If it is needed, in this point of time, should we be discontinuing that? If we want to discontinue, on what basis? If we are doing that, are we compromising on anything? Are we compromising on the rights, educational rights of women? Because in a fundamental Islamic families, they would rather stick to their Islamic or their religious practices than sending their girls to school. That comes their priority. Is it good for that particular group of women? Just because some interpretation is going wrong in this point of time. So all these things should come up in your mind. That's how you analyze. That's how you kind of split a topic into various dimensions. Think through, and get a personality out of that, get a perspective out of that. Try to read extensively, okay, and try to develop your abilities of communication. You have to communicate in a much better manner. Even if you know a very not much of information, but if you have sharp communication skills, you would be able to deliver what they are expecting out of you. That is more important. Some people would be knowing a lot, but they don't actually practice on their communication skills. You'll have to. You need language, you need proper diction. It's all about, you talk to a person, okay, you talk to a person and you get impressed with their talk. You don't get impressed with everyone. So that what is that particular thing different with that particular person? If you want to listen to Mr. Shashi Tharoor, you can go on listening to his talks, listening to his debates, analysis, okay, news items. But you don't do that with many other politicians. Why? So these things, okay, this element of communication, this element of expression of whatever knowledge you have is personality test. And that coupled with your alertness, your sensibilities, okay, and your clarity of thought, your analytical abilities, your logical reasoning, your solution-oriented thinking, all this should come up. And when these gets integrated with each other, and you have the ability to communicate through these lenses, then you'll end up, delivering a very good talk or a very good discussion in that 40 minutes. It would be a discussion. It would not be a question and answer session. They will put you in a very, very comfortable zone, most of the panels, and they'll try to ask you in a very natural state of communication. Don't expect that they'll grill you. If they're grilling you, language won't be tough. Maybe the topics of talk will be tough. Maybe the topics of talk might not be, you might not be aware of those topics of talk. That's it. The language is always pleasant and amiable. Okay, you'll have to improve on little these smaller aspects of language. They'll expect you to transform yourself into some new person in these 2.5 months of time, whatever that is left for you. Not even 2.5 months, right?
20 days.
20 days of time. So rather stick to your fundamentals and basics and try to speak to your friends and form groups among yourselves. Start debating, start speaking. It's a skill. How many of you play cricket here? How many of you play serious cricket? With cricket ball, stitched ball, forming a team, tournaments and stuff. Any game, yes. Badminton, tennis,
hockey,
Coco. Okay, in a Coco, you'll have to move in a certain manner, isn't it? You need to get that instinct. Okay, you have to sprint. So if you get out of touch, would you be able to compete with the regular Coco players? Hockey, for example, scooping, you have to do. You'll have to be in touch with the game. What is that? That's more motor skill. Humans can have so many skills. Yes, memory is a skill sometimes. Expression is a skill. Talk is a skill. Right? Similarly, games are skills. These are motor skills. These are intellectual skills. You're able to speak. Communication is a skill. Yes? Skills will be honed over a period of time. Skills cannot be or would not be expected to be honed in a very limited period of time. That doesn't happen usually. In a very optimistic way, you'll be having anywhere between 20 days to 1.5 months of time, depending on your slot of interview, right? So with this time at your disposal, try to list out those things which you are good at, try to list out those things which you are bad at. Some people might be very good with your knowledge, current affairs, okay, analysis aspects, and you might have read extensively in the gap post mains. Some people haven't done that, but they might be having good communication abilities. The former group might not be having really good communication abilities. Note them down. Do SWOT analysis: strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threat. What is threat? Threat is a competition, less time. Correct? What is opportunity? Time again. What if you get a slot after 2 months? You don't know. You could most of you could land up in the slots which are kind of 1.5 months away from now, or 2 months away from now. That's an opportunity for you. 2 months is a really good time. If you can clock in good amount of hours every day, and try to transform the way you speak a little bit. Don't try to get into, don't try to get into this mode where you want to transform yourself into some Brit. Okay, you just can't get into that accent and then, try to push that kind of language in the discussion. You need not. You try to polish. Some people will be speaking in, for example, I use right? Some people might be having some other things. Some people will say, ooh, right? They'll take a long break. They'll struggle to finish the sentence. They'll struggle with the words and vocabulary, right? These are the things you'll have to improve on. Okay, don't talk about how you first, in the first half of our talk, we'll talk about what are the things, what is the logic, why you're being analyzed or why you're being tested in this manner. Then we'll go with few topics where we'll understand how you'll come up with various dimensions of that particular topic and how you're going to put up your mind across the table. Okay, and what are the basic manners in which you'll have to present yourself? What should be the dressing? What should be your body language? What should be hand gesturing? How you have to look? How you have to move across your head, across the table apart. With respect to all the panel members. So this is the reason. If a person is like this, the person has all these elements in his personality, in his outlook. He goes and speaks with a bunch of people. He can convince them, or she can convince them. Yes or no? If you are a person who is not very confident about yourself or about the topic which you are going to deal with, and you talk about you talk in a very random and very unprepared manner, okay, then you would not. I don't think you will have any impact on a group of people, isn't it? So civil services, you are going to interact with a lot of civilians, correct? A lot of people, general public, at a much larger scale. So you'll have to be expected to get all these things. So how can we do that? Okay, communication is how we can do that. There are a few techniques. Like first is repetition. You'll have to keep talking to each other. You'll have to have a mentor, or you'll have to have Adam is there, and you can have any other personal mentor, like your brother or like your friend. Okay, or a person who's your senior, who's into services or who has prepared for this exam. Okay, or a good friend of yours who can give a time, an hour or 2 hours of time a day, who can listen to you and evaluate the way you're speaking. Okay, and then give you valuable feedback. So that's how, for a period of time, maybe 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, if you are persistent on this kind of preparation, this kind of talking, speaking, and engaging your mind and thinking process, and analyzing various aspects, like domestic issues, political issues, agriculture-based topics, okay, and international issues. On my missile got accidentally fired into the land of Pakistan. It's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. You need to have you need to have the knowledge of what would have gone wrong, what is the state of inquiry, okay, and how this could be avoided, and what these mishaps like these could lead to what are the consequences, what could be the bilateral mechanisms that can be put in place to avoid things like this. Okay, you'll have to think in a manner where you're going to give a solution. Okay, that is what differentiates successful aspirants from others. If you don't nurture that kind of habit of thinking through the issue, thinking through the problem, and coming up with a solution at the end of it, at least try. You might not be, sometimes the waters are not very clear where you can actually come up with a solution. But have this habit. Try. Put those efforts. That will be visible. Okay, that can be easily picked up by the panel. This person has put in those extra efforts from others. Okay, to come up to a solution-based thinking in that particular area. Okay, try to round up as many areas as possible. Domestic, international, in domestic various sectors, political, economic, social, cultural, society, okay, and constitution, political system, elections, various aspects, okay, various aspects. Try to round up and try to give a solid, substantial backing to whatever argument you're putting across. You just can't say something, hijab should be banned. Why it should be banned? What is the background? Why it was introduced into the practice of Islam in the first place? What was the relevance? What was the logic then? Is there any book that was relied upon by Honorable High Court of Karnataka? What are those areas? You'll have to. There is a beautiful article today in Hindi. Okay, they've given end-to-end, end-to-end explanation, rather end-to-end analysis to this entire issue. Why Honorable High Court of Karnataka came up with this kind of judgment? They gave the backing, substantial, logical backing, the principle backing of why they came up with this kind of judgment, that it need not be an essential religious practice in Islam. That's how you come across. That's how you form your opinions. You form your opinion through this kind of backing. You just can't form your opinion based on your own values. There should be commonly agreed upon values, isn't it? There are some commonly agreed upon values in this country. Constitution, principles of constitution becomes one of the backbones of those values. Yes, and there are so many cultural values. We have so many religions. There are so many individual religious values, and there are common human values across the religions. Okay, and values might need to change too as times progress. Yes, as I mentioned, sati was a value. Sati was a value in 18th and 19th century, early 19th century. It was banned. Yes or no? Yes. Times have changed. There were reformers. They got to know that this should not happen. This is barbaric. Okay, things like that. Now, how prepared are you, and how insightful are you to pick up on those changes in religions and religious values with respect to changes in time? That's how you'll evaluate it. What they say is, you'll have to come across as a very knowledgeable, very well prepared, okay, and very passionate, sensitive human being who is well fit for civil services. It's not just that we have mugged up all the constitution articles, okay, Article 24, Article 25, Article 17, 16, 14, 13, 2, 3, 4. They are least bothered at this stage. That is, as you told, your knowledge has been already tested in your prelims and mains. Now your analytical aspect, how deep are you as a person, will be tested. Okay, and how impactful you will be as leaders will be tested, and how exposed are you to these circumstances will be tested. Lies will never be tolerated. They can easily, if I talk to you for 10-15 minutes, I can make out if you're lying or not. I'm just few years elder to you, and they are double our age, 60, 65, 70-year-old people with 30, 35 odd years of experience in their respective fields, mostly civil services. Okay, you just cannot cheat them. Okay, in the hurry to get into services, in the hurry to deliver things or talk about things which you are not actually prepared, don't commit these mistakes. Be extremely honest. Have highest level of integrity. Integrity is integrity. There is no high level, low level integrity. Okay, have integrity. Be honest to yourself, and accept these things. Okay, don't just try to bluff around. Okay, if you don't know, just don't know. Just say don't. That is okay. No one can ever know everything. Even the chairperson who is going to evaluate you will not be knowing each and everything under the sky. Sky itself is undefined. Yes. What is sky? What is sky, anyone?
Everything above the surface of Earth.
Is sky. So this is sky. Tell me, you're going to interview. If someone asks, define sky.
There's no proper definition as per any
Legal authority.
any authoritative institution. Any institution.
Authoritative institution. Okay. What is your option? Yes, sir.
Anthropology.
Anthropology. Okay. But try to define sky. It's okay. You can define anything. Is sky present only on Earth?
No.
Where moon? Sky is there, moon. What is sky in moon?
So it's group of various astronomical objects which covers the entire galaxies.
That is universe. So sky is universe.
Sky is our perception, sir. Sky is our perception of what is external from our own planet.
Good. That is kind of a definition that is coming close. Yes?
It's a reflection of the respective planetary body or anything.
You can't say that is getting technical. Are you so sure about your technicalities of astronomy?
No, sir.
Then don't get into the technicality. See, look, it's about your, that's what I said, presence of mind. You're trying to answer, he tried to answer, she tried to answer. But one among you is coming little closer, little simpler, little uncomplex way of coming towards things. Okay, your sky. So we can define, or ma'am, we can define sky in that manner. If you stand on the surface of the moon and just look up, whatever you are able to see would be the sky of the moon. Yes or no? That is the presence of mind. That is the boldness. Some people will get froze. They're just sitting like this. Sky, sky, what is sky? Is it Surya Yadav of IPL Mumbai Indians? Or is there someone else, is something else? Why they ask sky? This is because India launched missile into Pakistan. They're asking sky question. Don't we complicate our thinking like this? When some question which we don't know come across, yes, don't think that manner. Okay, don't think in that manner. First, unlearn. Okay, unlearn the way you learn things, and then try to channelize your thinking process in certain manner, which in a manner which I am going to talk to you now, or in a manner where any other speaker who comes up here and tries to speak to you, and we can also learn from each other. Okay, you'll have to think and come across as near perfect person. Near perfect. I'm not saying perfect, near perfect. With respect to your language, with respect to your knowledge, with respect to your morals, ethics, your priorities. Okay, and your socio-economic realities of this country, political realities of this country. Okay, international realities of this country, diplomatic realities of this country. Will have to be. Why is India not condemning? What are we not condemning?
Russia's invasion.
Why?
Aggression on Ukraine.
Why? Are we
It
supporting
has
it?
its own interest over the international principles.
Are we supporting it?
Yes, definitely. Sometimes, in some cases,
not
No, are we supporting Russian invasion to
No,
No,
sir.
not
Yes, sir.
directly.
Not directly. So indirectly, are we supporting?
We are
No,
just
sir.
abstaining. We are just being neutral.
it is neither supporting nor rejecting.
But should we be doing that?
So on one side we have also condemned, our Prime Minister himself has condemned the acts done by the military, Russian military. But on international fora, we are abstaining from voting against Russia.
Yes. But do you think it's right?
Sir,
In the matters,
nothing.
Yes, sir. I think it's right because it's not just a tactical call that we take and supporting this role or an against role at this point of time, because we have a larger strategic interest at stake. Because Indian students need to be evacuated. We have good relations with both the West and the East. We have hostile neighborhood. So there are a lot more reasons at play, sir, than just taking a call at a tactical level at a short term. I think we need to, as a mature nation, we need to look about our strategic interests, sir. In that scenario, I think the decision India has taken, at least for this moment, is true, sir. But we have to wait and watch how the war spirals out. And we, as a responsible nation towards international law, human rights, we will surely take up a stand that is very competent.
Good. Makes a very really good answer. Yes. Can you polish it a little further? But still, it's a kind of very balanced and.
Sir, when you are neutral only, you can call for peace talks or you can play as a negotiator. But if you support Russia or Ukraine, you cannot play the role of negotiator and all these things. So to an extent, that's why USA or West are not pressuring India, so that India might have certain leverage to call for the peace talk and all.
This is again another dimension. Very good.
Right?
Yeah. This is what happens. That's when perspectives like this comes up, these groups become a very productive group to debate and learn from each other. Okay, you can actually combine both the answers. Okay, you can actually combine both the answers. That's how you try to learn from each other. That's how you also actually, you'll have to refine your answering abilities. There are two aspects to answer. First of all, are you answering the question? Okay, when you're answering, you should be very sure that you know the answer to that particular question, especially if it's a fact. Okay. Second, how are you going to answer the question? Okay, in what manner are you going to answer the question? Present your knowledge. The second part is the tricky part. Second part is the line share in your answer. Okay, that needs to be perfected for a period of time. Unfortunately, time is less. Unfortunately, 20 days is like nothing. When was it? But mains was finished in January 7th, right?
16.
March, 2 months.
There is a case.
It's okay. Anyways, we just can't. That is fixed variable now. Time is fixed variable.
So, but we can see that everyone is in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
So as you pointed out, if we can take an optimistic view out of this, maybe if all of us can pull up our socks and maybe pull in our resources, I think we can surely do something better. We will obviously do better what we are at this scenario.
Very good.
185 is always better than 165. 165 is always better than 145. I think that is how we should look, sir.
Very
going
good,
forward.
very good. Okay. What's your name?
Vishwanath.
Vishwanath is saying really good points here. Okay, we'll have to just look at this in an optimistic manner and just go ahead. Okay, and for people who feel that their English abilities, how many of you are not giving English? మీరు ఇవ్వట్లేదా తెలుగు? ఓకే, ఇంకా ఉన్నారా? తెలుగు మీరు మన మాతృభాష కాబట్టి మీరు ఇంకా బాగా మాట్లాడగలరు. ఓకే, అట్లా నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేయకండి. ఓకే, నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేయకుండా ఇలా తెలుగులో మాట్లాడాలంటే ఎలాంటి ఫార్మాట్లో మాట్లాడాల్సి వస్తుంది వాళ్ళతో. మధ్యలో కొన్ని బేస్ సోవరెంటీ అనే దగ్గర సౌప్రభుత్వం దొరకచ్చు మీకు. రిటర్న్ ఇంకేదైనా కొన్ని పదాలు తెలుగులో దొరకకపోతే నాకు తెలిసి మీరు ఇంగ్లీష్లో వాడచ్చు. ఆ పదాలను ఇంగ్లీష్ పదాలు అలాగే వాడేసి మాట్లాడచ్చు. ఓకే, ఐ థింక్ మీరు తెలుగులో మాట్లాడినా సరే మధ్యలో మీరు ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పాలనుకుంటే యూ కెన్ టెల్ దెమ్ దట్ ఐ కెన్ ఆల్సో టెల్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్. ఓకే, యూ కెన్ యూస్ మిక్స్, బట్ యూ గైస్ can't do that. Okay, you guys can only speak in English. But those people who feel that their English language skills and communication abilities are not that good, if you feel so, personally, give the time. Okay, prepare yourselves. Make short sentences, speak those sentences. Make those answers and speak up those answers. And try to think and then speak to your friend. Debate, participate in debates and discussions. Come observe some people who are really good at expressing themselves in the language of English. Then add up those elements in your way of speaking and come up with answers. Okay, so the second part and how you are going to present your answer is a direct reflection of the maturity of your personality. Okay, I'll tell you an example. In my interview question, the question went like this: Do you think the status of women? Mine was on the 7th of March. 8th is International Women's Day. Okay, so do you think that the status of women in India has improved in all these years? Was the question. So I started answering. Putting in the Sun meta preference theory that was highlighted in 2017-18 or 18-19 economic survey. Okay, Sun meta preference. I put up that thing and then I started speaking and then I wrote something. And in that morning, I read newspaper where there was the result of CBSE, where in the result of CBSE there were people, boy percentage, pass percentage is less, and boys merit percentage is lesser than girls pass percentage and merit percentage. I just quoted that, and the particular person who wrote the piece of article wrote that girls are getting ready for a party and there is nowhere to go. That was what was written in that particular piece of article. What does that mean? Girls are putting in that many efforts. Girls are being more sincere than boys till the 10th class, and they are displaying that particular their efforts and seriousness in their pass percentage and merit percentage. Still, the prospects of them pursuing higher education or a career out of their lives are little or maybe less than 50% when compared to men. Then why are they studying? Actually, they are getting ready to go to a party, and after you get ready to go to a party, what if someone says there is no party? How do you feel? It's a figurative way of putting up the plight of girls. I said, I just told that particular thing. Internally I thought that I think this is not that, not a very, immoral or unethical, or maybe it's not something that is obscene or something like that. So I just spoke those words as such, verbatim. That actually was liked by panel. Okay, so sometimes you can pick up the excerpts from newspaper, understand them well, understand the essence of those excerpts, and you can use them direct, verbatim in your interview. Okay, but the judgment is necessary. You'll have to have the judgment. You just can't put up, speak whatever is written in the newspaper. Sometimes that might sound as obscene, or sometimes that might sound as politically, untenable sometimes, or maybe politically supporting one particular group of parties and stuff like that. So you need to have that particular judgment, understand the values properly, then put across, which will add weight, which will add an extra sheen to your personality. Okay, it's not very easy to cross over into 200s. It's kind of tough. The process starts right from your, prelims days or main stage or multiple attempts. That's how you improve your way of speaking. Okay, no one will expect after the interview. No one will expect that they'll get into 200s or 190s. Is also not that easy. 170s, 180s are they are little more frequent. 165s, 170s are most frequent. 150s, 140s are little less again. Okay, so 160s, 170s interview is the most frequent mark. So even if you go now with basic preparation, you can expect your score somewhere around that. Okay, crossing over into 180s and 190s is a little tougher. Crossing over to 200s is quite tougher. And no one will expect. After getting your session done, you will be shocked. I was shocked. Okay, now the point here is, never settle for 160s or 150s. Always aim for 200s. Always. Okay, always aim for 200s. Go to that level of kind of quality. Okay, try to spend that quality time. It's more of quality than quantity when it comes to more marks in interview. They'll not be much impressed if you are able to speak out the basic geography of Ukraine, or how many square kilometers it is, what is the population, what are the various ethnic communities. That's not relevant to you. That might be relevant to Ukrainians or Russians, or people who are there in the war there. As civil service aspirants, as prospective civil servants in future, what matters to you the most is your relationship with Ukraine, your relationship with Russia, your relationship, your interest in the stability of Central Asian region, and your interest in the stability of the world order. Post World War II order is being questioned now. That, okay, and the interest of your own country, sovereignty of your own country, correct, and protection of human rights, could be civil, political, religious, whatever rights. Yes. So your understanding, if you are able to speak on these lines, they will be more impressed, rather than you having the extensive knowledge about the unrelated aspects of Ukraine. Yes, sir. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the difference?
Yes, sir.
That's how you delineate. An issue is there, and how you're channelizing, like your mains. Even your mains, you'll have to display that particular, a sense of judgment, where you'll be thinking on the same topic, but preparing only few aspects of the topic. You'll consciously ignore the other aspects, because those aspects are least interesting. Yes. So this kind of judgment you'll have to nurture. You'll have to prepare. You'll have to, that with this kind of sense of judgment at the back of your mind, you'll have to start preparing. You'll have to start speaking. You'll have to start answering. You'll have to start debating and discussing. You'll have to let other people speak. These are the manners of talk. Okay, when I'm discussing, I asked you a question and someone else started speaking, I kept quiet, listened to you. Okay, was having my alertness. Sometimes what happens is, they'll ask you a question, you're answering a question, and chairperson will step in and she or he will ask some other question. Okay, you are there in the middle of your answer here. You'll go to chairperson, you will answer his or her question, come back to this particular person and continue your answer. By this example, you'll have to understand the kind of span of attention you should be mastering. Just can't say you're answering to particular, for example, net neutrality. She asked me net neutrality. I start answering what is net neutrality, access, this, that, universality. And you just came up with, tell me about Starlink program of Mr. Elon Musk. Start answering Starlink program. After 45 seconds of that. And then I'll be expected to come back and then finish my answer here. Okay, that is next level of preparedness. Okay, you'll have to consider all these aspects when you get into interview room. Okay, you'll have to hold a very polite, empowered, knowledgeable, sensible discussion with a group of 5 people who are double your age, who have extensive experience and extensive knowledge when compared to yours. Okay, so have that at the back of your mind. Speak to someone with whom you have your confidence to speak. You have your own set of ideas and perspectives and politeness and sensibilities, and then you're trying to put across those ideas in a very polite manner. Okay, with a smile. Most of them with a smile. Keep smiling and answering. Keep smiling and answering. Don't just laugh like this. Okay, don't laugh like that. Have a smile on your face. Have that confidence on your face. Keep looking at everyone. Okay, you'll have to master. You'll have to present yourself in a very pleasant manner. That is one more essential aspect. Some people will get. Even I used to have. When I used to go in my first and second interviews, I used to have this. Because my mind is constantly engaged in thinking what kind of answer I should be telling. My face, I was not able to control my expressions on my face. So mind is thinking, my mouth is speaking, but my face is like blank. Then they started telling me, smile, have a smile. Then I started to master this kind of, I started giving that plastic smile. Then they say, no, this is a little too much. Tone it down. Or as if the smile is absent on your face. So then you'll hit that optimum. Okay, that beautiful optimum where you come across as a very naturally happy person who's speaking at their natural best. That's what you'll have to achieve. The outlook wise. Otherwise, you'll have to master your analytical abilities and your reasoning abilities not in CSAT. Okay, in your personality. Even your personality can be logical, reasonable. I'm telling you. You just can't say, sir, this should be done. Why that should be done? Why is it constant? Why is the major constant in this journey of your personality test? Why? Not when, not how, nothing. How is also important, the solution. When, whom, doesn't matter much. Why and how matters much. Okay, why? That analysis. Why? Cutting down the topic into various dimensions, various perspectives, pulling out all these perspectives and weaving up a very beautiful answer. That interwoven answer, would actually bring up the reflection of your maturity as a person. How deep are you thinking as a person? Are you thinking about yourself? Are you thinking about your own community? Are you thinking about your own family or state or your own country? Or are you thinking about, human values? Or are you thinking about peace at global level? Or are you thinking about the brotherhood of humanity? Who called for universal citizen? The idea of universal citizen?
Ravinder Ghosh.
Ravinder Ghosh or Rabindranath Tagore? Rabindranath Tagore called himself a universal citizen, a global citizen.
Yes, sir. To properly answer you, it was a philosophical thread in our Indian philosophy, sir. A lot of thinkers, especially Rabindranath Tagore, and even before also they called for. I accept it.
Yeah. I was not aware of this philosophical continuity,
Yes,
but as far as I remember, okay, it was Rabindranath Tagore who called himself a global citizen.
Yes.
So global citizen, look at the idea of global citizen. That means he can travel to Tunisia and still feel the brotherhood there. Yes. He doesn't feel alien to that culture. Even if he feels alien to that culture, he still loves them. He still respects them. That is the ultimate human value. Or are you oriented towards that value or not? That is most important. If you're not oriented towards that value, and if you're speaking about certain topics, then the shallowness of your personality is quite evident. Yes, that is why you'll be advised to read extensively. That is why, see, on same topic, he answered something, he came up with another idea of having India as a neutral
Peacemaker.
stakeholder, so between these two countries. Yes, so that is how you gain a lot many perspectives. That is how you deepen your knowledge, and you move towards the maturity of your personality, stability, confidence. If you're well prepared, if you have read extensively, and if you can separate out various aspects of your DAF, and also separate out various aspects of the preparatory things, and then make some questions. Also, always prepare about those things beforehand. Have debated, discussed, and decently confident about your language. Then the way your answer is a whole different level. So that is the best way you can speak. That is the realization of your best potential. That's what you can do now. As I told, you just cannot transform yourself into some, you just cannot transform your accent into some British accent. You just cannot. But you can fine tune it to an extent where it comes across without any extensions of e, u, or unnecessary breaks of time, continuity of expression in short sentences or little longer sentences. If you're confident enough, you just can go on. If you're not confident enough, if you have not practiced longer sentences, then just avoid forming long sentences. What happens with that is, when you form long sentences, if you're not used to it, if your brain is not trained beforehand, you will end up losing your span of attention. That link will be missed. So even if you know things, even if you can beautifully present your answer in an interview, you end up making unnecessary faults, unnecessary mistakes. So all this is a strategy, like prelims or mains. Everything is a strategy. Okay, you'll have to make your own strategy for it. I'm trying to give you, an umbrella view about how you can go about in interview. Okay, you'll have to take my inputs or take someone else's inputs who will come here maybe in future. Okay, and also ma'am's inputs and any other civil servants or any other senior aspirants whom you are consulting or talking to, their inputs, and you get your own individualistic strategy that suits because if everything goes well, in next 3 months you will be one among civil servants, isn't it? No?
Yes.
This is not the stage where someone will come and tutor you to end to end, or someone comes and parrot you, tell this, tell that. You're not in that stage. You are in a stage where you can have your individual strategy. Take these inputs. These are kind of insights out of my experience. Someone else would come here and give his or her insights. So they'll be giving some more insights to you. These should help you to raise that particular bar. Okay, and that particular bar also has to be individualistic. Okay, you'll have to give that in your own bringing up, your family background, your educational backgrounds, your values, your experiences, your circumstances, your worldview should reflect. And these should not be at the extremes of the spectrum. Okay, this should hover around the mean of the spectrum. A spectrum will have two extremes and a mean, yes or no?
Yes.
So you should hover around the mean of the spectrum of values. You cannot say that India should go for charity, India should go for socialism, or India should go for extreme communism. Let's pull up, let's distribute all poverty, let's eliminate entire poverty. Elimination of poverty is not a reality at all. Why, tell me? If I pass a statement, elimination of poverty is not a reality. What will you say?
So that might stem from the very concept of poverty itself, because poverty is very relative in its own definition. We can define poverty as access to certain amount of goods. Then we will obviously end up with the concept of inequality, which itself will hinder poverty, elimination of poverty being realized. Poverty can be seen in terms of intellectual poverty. Poverty can be seen in terms of cultural poverty, spiritual poverty. So we are very narrow.
Stick your answer to economic poverty.
Yes, sir.
Stick your answer to economic poverty and try to speak.
Yes, sir. I would say that economic poverty also would be very difficult to eliminate in absolute terms because of the relative nature of poverty itself. Sir, I'll give a small example. If we take the purchasing poverty of PPP concept, like if suppose even the per capita income of the country has risen, we are having a per capita of income of nearly 1.5 lakhs, but still we are seeing that 29% of the population is below poverty line. The reason being the PPP concept. The richer are getting richer, but still there is a lot of catching up business to do, sir. So I feel in relative sense, poverty cannot be completely eliminated. Because of the relative nature of poverty, exactly. We cannot eliminate.
Yeah, that is the core idea of this statement. Poverty is always relative. Yes or no? I'm a poor person when compared to Ambani, yes or no? But I'm not poor absolutely. Relatively I'm poor. In that sense, poverty cannot be eliminated ever. Poverty stays on. But but the extent of poverty, the degree of poverty, that needs to be addressed. When the poverty is subjecting someone, or when a poverty is denying some people of the basic respect or access to basic goods, basic healthcare, basic education, basic livelihood, basic quality of life, then that is the thing that needs to be addressed first. When that is addressed, which is the richest country in the world?
United States.
So
It's
that
again
depends
a
on
middle concept.
GDP, the concept or GDP per
Exactly,
capita
exactly,
concept.
exactly. We can say a bunch of countries as richer countries in the world. G7 countries, yes. OECD countries,
Yes.
top 10, top 5 countries, yes. Don't they have poor people? Then you can add that example into your answer. To quote an example, even the G7 countries, the world's richest countries, have substantially, substantial bulk of poor people. So in this journey, we'll have to go into our efforts where we eliminate the basic poverty. Okay, we cannot eliminate economic poverty completely. We cannot eliminate basic poverty where we give access to basic goods like healthcare, basic goods like food, clothing, shelter, and education, opportunities of livelihood, employment, basic quality of life, dignity, respect, equality. So these things need to be addressed. So the efforts of the state are always directed towards these aspects of poverty. That's how you cook your answer. Getting? Okay. So things like this. This is the level at which you have to answer questions. Okay, to put things into perspective, this is the level at which you're going to answer the questions. This is the level at which you have to form your brains. Once you form your mind, your mouth always automatically speaks, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It's not, your mouth doesn't speak something out of the air. The mind needs to be formed. How your mind is formed? Through these discussions, debates, through extensive reading of articles, through thinking. Not just reading, thinking. You have to think. You'll have to come up with some ideas. You have to engage and keep your brain this continuous activity where your mind comes up with mixed ideas. Your mind will mix up ideas, cross thinking. Yes, you have to think polity, culture, society, cross thinking, tribes, castes, the basic Hindu social system, cross thinking. And poverty, prosperity, cross thinking. What happened across the world? What's happening? Okay, so everything. That's how you form your own perspective. That's how you train your mind to compare and contrast each and every time. And that will become a habit, and that will be reflected in answers also. So this is about, I think I could say, I could give you the perspective or initial introduction of what personality test is all about, what is the logic behind rechristening of interview as personality test, and what are the various aspects or traits that will be expected of you when you sit in that particular room to be assessed in personality test for 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, do you have any doubts?
Sir, is there any leverage for provocative answers, then continue discussion based on that? Can we go for that? I mean, giving the panel...
Leeway for provocative answers?
Yes.
Why would you want to provoke them?
For example, if you want to lead the panel in our way...
This leading the panel, there is one more thing. Many mentors and many coaching institutes, many people would tell you to lead interviewers. Where are you leading them to? Why should you lead them? Tell me this. I don't really understand this logic of leading them. Don't lead anyone. Speak your heart out. Speak your damn heart out, that's it. Not mind, heart. Why this heart? Why do we call speak the heart out, not the mind out?
It's the original character.
Your passion, your compassion, your sensibility. Okay, when you're talking about poverty, if you are going to give an example of a poor girl, a teenage poor girl, with torn up clothes, whose security at nights is not guaranteed. Okay, who could be sexually assaulted, living out in the roads. If you're not able to connect to that particular example, then you are not speaking out of your heart. You're speaking just out of your mind. That is the difference. Okay, you need not provoke anyone. You need not lead anyone. personality test, if you prepare very well about these current affairs, your DAF, and if you prepare very well about the latest developments, and if you have read extensively about these things in various articles, okay, and if you form really good perspectives and confidence to speak those issues, then you need not lead anything, you need not provoke anyone, nothing. Just go speak their interest. I'm telling you for the fact that there are very few people who can actually impress the board. Okay, very few people. Most people go with a very bland, very parroted or very prefixed ways of answering things. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that thing. Don't subscribe yourself to that kind of personality test preparation. Okay, don't provoke anyone. Don't lead them to anything. Just speak what you know. Just speak that particular thing with passion. That's it. Any other doubts?
ధీరజ్
It might
నెక్స్ట్
be enough.
15 డేస్లో 15 రోజులు ఇంటర్వ్యూ ప్రిపరేషన్ కంప్లీట్ చేయడం వల్ల 15 డేస్ హౌ టు కంప్లీట్ అంటే
చెప్తున్నారు. Trying to tell them that only. And they try not to overdo things. Try to balance out. As I told, you're all pots which are filled to different levels. Yes or no?
Yes.
In 15-20 days, no miracle is going to happen. You can only stick to your own pot and then try to fill some more drops. Okay, make some sheen or do some thread pottery. What is it? Rope pottery or thread pottery? Anthropology student. What is that cord you put across the pots? Forgot. Adutari ivanni. Nala kalthi kuda tagiladu. You'll ask these things only. What is that cord press pottery? Tell me. Then you're like, sir, I don't know. You don't know? You're an anthropology student. How can you not know? You might forget. It's okay to forget. Okay, many people forget many things. Okay, but then are you going to keep yourself stable? Give a smile at them, saying that we cannot remember everything all through our lives. Okay, it's okay to forget. Kind of an answer. It's fine. Allah. So this extreme blend of balance and sensibility in that particular time of 40 minutes is something you have to master. Okay, when you're constantly putting up your knowledge across, okay, you're putting that across and also giving this tinge of sensibility, tinge of easygoingness, okay, tinge of lightheartedness, presence of mind. At the same time, serious enough to talk about hijab issue, or you talk about Ukraine-Russia conflict issue, Indian interests, stability in the Central Asian region, okay, stability in the post-World War II order, relevance of G7, G20, P5+1, UNSC, resolutions, UN system, relevance of UN system itself. When two major economies like Russia and China shun international system, what good is UN system for? Yes or no? There is a huge fault line that is being developed in P5. Then you should be serious enough to think about that, serious enough to think of the consequences. Just go to IDSA or some other political security, political analysis website and build your perspective. First of all, you have to think on those lines to probe into that particular area. But if you are dumb enough, if you are like bland in your preparation, don't even think of those particular consequences, you would not put consciously, you would not put conscious efforts on those lines. Yes? ఇంకా ఇంకేం డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి?
చాలా వెరీ టెక్నిక్ అంటే
See, I am listening from last one. Krishna is speaking in the class.
అవును. స్టార్టింగ్లో వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్?
Too bad for interview. This is too bad.
Kiran spoke for some time. You spoke a little. This guy spoke. That guy spoke a little. మిగిలిన వాళ్ళకి ఏమైంది?
అసలు
అప్పుడే సిగ్గుపడితే ఎట్లా?
ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడితే వాళ్ళకే ర్యాంక్ నేను చెప్తున్నాను. అవుట్ రైట్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ మాత్రం ఇది అవుట్ రైట్ నేను చూసాను కదా. ఎవరైతే ఇప్పుడు లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ శ్రీజ అందరు నాకు తనే మాట్లాడేది, తను 20th ర్యాంక్ వచ్చింది. ఇంటర్వ్యూలో షీ గాట్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద బెస్ట్ మార్క్స్. అభిషేక్ సేమ్ అందరు నాకు తనే మాట్లాడేవాడు. సేమ్ ఇప్పుడు విశ్వనాథ్ దగ్గర చూస్తున్నాను. మీరు అందరు నాకు ఇది మాట్లాడండి ఫస్ట్. స్టార్ట్ స్పీకింగ్ అది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. సార్ ఇందాక నుంచి ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయంటే అన్ని డౌట్లు తన దగ్గర నుంచి వస్తున్నాయి. డౌట్ అని కాదు, అసలు ముందు సార్తో మాట్లాడగలిగితే అందరితో బయట మాట్లాడచ్చు మనం.
అంతేగా, నేను ఇంత ఫ్రెండ్లీగా మాట్లాడుతున్నా మీతో, నాకు పెద్ద ఏజ్ గ్యాప్ కూడా లేదు. వెన్ మీరు నాతో మాట్లాడడానికి మొహమాట పడితే, ఇమాజిన్ స్పీకింగ్ టు అ బంచ్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ హూ ఆర్ ఓల్డ్, who give very straight face to you. They'll just look like you. Exactly, they look like you. This only. Look very serious like you. ఇట్లా ఫ్రౌన్ చేసి చూస్తుంటాను నేను. You will not be used to those expressions కదా అట్లా. ఇంకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్?
How to pick and choose hobbies and this.
Don't pick and choose hobbies. Don't pick and choose hobbies again. Okay, put up 1 or 2 hobbies about which you are genuinely interested. As I told, when you speak, if you come across as some person who has actually cooked up your answers for hobby just for the sake of hobbies, then that is a huge black mark. Atla cheyakandi. There is a guy called Tejlohit Reddy. Okay, he's my junior in medicine, but he got right after internship he got into civil services, Kerala cadre. Tanu hobbies lo okkati petledu. Imagine 0 hobbies he put. He got 180 plus marks in interview. Might not be great marks, but he got into service and he got into IAS, Kerala cadre. Rather than putting up something just for the sake of it and endangering your chance of getting good marks, just don't put if you don't have hobbies. But I don't think there would be any person who have no hobbies.
So out of whatever we have, the best ones, like which more chances.
So first of all, you write your priority. One thing we'll do, immediately after the results, mains results, we'll invite Dheeraj sir and I'll be sitting and 1 or 2 seniors, and we all will have a personal interaction with you. అంటే ఆ హాబీ పెడితే మంచి చెడు ఏమిటి అన్నీ డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. మీరు ఒకటి డ్రాఫ్ట్ టెంటేటివ్ కూడా ప్రిపేర్ చేసేసుకోండి, ఒక మోడల్ డ్రాఫ్ట్ 2. రిజల్ట్ రాగానే రైట్ ఆఫ్టర్ రిజల్ట్ విల్ సిట్ ఫర్ అండ్ వర్క్ ఆన్ దాట్. ఓకే, రిజల్ట్ రాగానే మనం దాని మీద కూర్చుందాం, ఇంకా డ్రాఫ్ట్ మీద. ఈలో మీరు నాకు ఈ 3 హాబీస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఈ 2 హాబీస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, దాన్ని ఫైనలైజ్ చేసే దగ్గర విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ. రిజల్ట్స్ వచ్చాక మళ్ళీ ఒక సెషన్.
షూర్ మ్యామ్, నేను అప్పుడు అకాడమీలో ఉంటాను, మీరు చెప్పండి. ఎప్పుడన్నా ఒకరోజు ఈవినింగ్ ఐ విల్ ట్రై టు కమ్. 27th. 27th.
21st or 22nd రిజల్ట్.
అవునా?
ఇమిడియట్లీ నెక్స్ట్ డే విల్ హ్యావ్ ఎ క్లాస్.
నేను ఇంటికి వెళ్తున్నాను, 22nd వస్తాను. ఆఫ్టర్ దాట్ విల్
27th అనుకుంటున్నాను, 22nd రిజల్ట్స్ వస్తాయి.
ఓకే.
23rd, 24th, 25th ఎనీ టైం.
ఓకే.
వీళ్ళందరినీ ఒకసారి అందర్ టీమ్ అప్ అండ్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఫైనల్ డిస్కషన్ విత్ సార్. ఒకసారి అకాడమీకి వెళ్ళిపోతే మనకు దొరుకుతుంది మనకి. ఓకే, సో ఒక్కసారి సార్ చెప్పి నేను గుర్తుపెట్టినారు కదా, విల్ ఫాలో ఇన్ దట్ వే.
ఇంకేం డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి? అసలు ఇంకొకరు మిగిలిన వాళ్ళు 2-3 డౌట్స్ అడగాలి కదా. If there are no doubts, the talk is extremely good or you are extremely attentive. There can be.
With the panel, if they put some argument which is contrasting to our.
Sir, I beg to differ with you, or ma'am, I beg to differ with you. Yeah, of course, yeah. You can, for example, I can tell you another example in my 3rd interview. Okay, that did not go actually well because of my lack of preparedness due to my hectic schedule in the academy, and also they are little pushing the guy. Pushing me, they were pushing the aspirant or the candidate to to a little corner. For example, they were saying, what is your impression about the bridge course that is coming up for nurses so that they can be trained as doctors and they can practice? I myself is a doctor. I know the intricacies of medical education, and I know medical education and the basics cannot be taught through bridge course. That is the reason why MCA has designed that such a meticulous curriculum to maintain the standards of medical education. And now you are creating a barrage of people, candidates, just to cater to the short-term needs of medical education, severely compromising on the safety of people. Would the particular person who is going to devise a bridge course be treated with the person who is by a nurse or any paramedical who graduated in that bridge course, or would he go to AIMS? Where would he go? Simple. If you know that understanding, but you don't put in this manner. But I told them that, ma'am, no, that's not a good thing. I tried to tell all these things. Then she started saying, no, you people, you doctors, you try to corner everything.
Yes, sir. I was just about to put forward the point. There is a difference between administrative necessity and professional specifications. Because I come from a family where my sister and my in-laws are also from doctors. So obviously doctors, I have seen that they are very possessive, or in fact in a very right sense also, about the standard of medical education and the treatment should be done by the country, sir. More so given the case of COVID. So then how do you see it?
Then that's what I'm saying. Your short-term thing should be short-term. You cannot give them bridge course and give them title of doctors. You have seen the example of RMPs. Okay, registered medical practitioners. What the menace they are unleashing in the remotest part of the country. They use the best of antibiotics. They don't understand the herd immunity. They don't understand the antibiotic resistance. There is a whole lot of aspects. There I was trying to counter her argument. Then she started saying, no, you guys are doctors. You try to corner everything, and you try to hold hostage many people in that 5 years of skill. Why do we need 5 years? Why 3 years is enough? I stuck to my point. I said, ma'am, I think I would respectfully disagree with your point. We need that particular curriculum. She's like, no. Anyways, leave. Generally, people don't do that, but she did. I just smiled at her and then went on. Sometimes even unpleasant or uncalled for expressions or gestures might come across in interview also. Inka?
What to taking stand on yet not yet subjudiced subjects. For example, there was a case of permanent commission for women. Government outrightly has shifted stand on that, and then our Prime Minister directly spoken in one media channel that permanent commission for women will be granted. Then there is one case of criminalization of marital rape. Now government is going against it. Then in the future it might shift its stand before our interviews or like that. In such cases, how to take?
If they ask you your opinion, you can give.
Yes,
You're not making a public statement, no. You cannot make public statements on aspects which are sub judice. You can talk. You can speak out your opinion. It's okay, yeah. If you think that marital rape is wrong, you have to say how it is wrong, why it is wrong. Okay, what are the aspects, other countries, examples. If you think that this is not the time for criminalization of marital rape, rather than sensitizing, young men and men in general, young boys in general, if that is the case, or if both should go in parallel. So it's like, what is the impact of that on institution of marriage? Like for example, 498A being misused against some men, some husbands by some crooked wives. That's happening. Yeah, not adultery, 498A, domestic violence. Okay, 498A IPC, that's being totally misused in some cases. Now these days, dowry means some misunderstanding between husband and wife before divorce. There will be FIR of 498A IPC. What is this? It's not a joke. Criminal justice system is not a joke. Then that is why Supreme Court came down very harshly in a very extremely harsh worded statement, where Supreme Court totally condemned the practice, uncanny practice of this particular 498A. Similarly, what are the impacts of criminalization of marital rape on the institution of marriage, where India is standing, really proud in the world community to have a very stable institution of marriage. Despite the differences, the institution of marriage is extremely strong. That is actually, leading to societal order in the community. When there is a beauty in character, there is harmony at house. There is harmony at house.
There is order in nation.
Nation. Order in the nation. Simple. By the great Dr. Abdul Kalam.
Sir, one more thing. Now High Court, Karnataka High Court has granted a judgment regarding visa issue. Now the matter is sub judice in Supreme Court, right, sir? In the future, Supreme Court might turn against the judgment of the High Court, Karnataka High Court. It might happen, sir. So, in that process,
see, you need not adhere to the institutional verdicts or institutional stance. Personality test is your personality. You can go against with your own justification, and that justification, as I said, should hover around the mean of human values. Should not go around the extremes. You should not say that, you should not speak as someone who is clad in saffron. Okay, you should not speak in that sense, or you should not speak as someone who is totally bent towards Islam. You should speak as someone who thinks that religion is the essence of religion is human values, not the practice itself. Okay, yes or no? What is the essence of religion? Is it about human values, or is it about sticking to the practices? Human values. That is why it's a code. It's a code of practice. It's a code of practice that improves, or that takes care of the welfare of the community or humans in general. Yes, yeah.
Loud.
గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ నార్మల్గా అన్ని సబ్జెక్ట్స్
గట్టి మాట్లాడు.
అంటే గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ బేస్డ్ ఇప్పుడు ప్రిపరేషన్ అనేది అన్ని సబ్జెక్ట్స్ చదవాలా లేదంటే ఎట్లా?
ఏ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ ఇది? ఏది బీటెక్లో? బీటెక్ సివిల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్. సో see, I'm a doctor. Okay, what kind of knowledge would I have about civil engineering? What will I think about civil engineering? Exactly. Structural stability, structural engineering. Simple. Columns అంటే ఏంటి, బ్రిటిష్ అట్లా కడతారు, ఓకే సివిల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్లో లేటెస్ట్ డెవలప్మెంట్స్ ఏంటి, వాట్ ఆర్ జియో టెక్స్టైల్స్, వాట్ ఆర్ వేర్ దే యూస్డ్, సింపుల్ లైక్ థింగ్స్ లైక్ దీస్. Okay, and if there is a civil engineer sitting in the panel, then you need to go to a little integrities. If there is any some deepest formulas or deepest of the concepts, some rare remote concepts, you can ignore them. But you should be having that basic framework of civil engineering, basic framework of all the subjects in the 4 years of civil engineering, basics. Chappachu ఇప్పుడు for example, if I ask you, tell me all the subjects of your civil engineering, you should be able to say ఎన్ని ఉంటాయి సబ్జెక్ట్స్ మీకు సివిల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్లో ఎగ్జామ్స్కి? 24 సబ్జెక్ట్స్ చెప్పగలవా? 24 డీసెంట్. 24 నేర్చు అట్లీస్ట్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకో, చూడు ఒకసారి 24. ఓకే, అట్లా అట్లీస్ట్ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు స్పీక్ సంథింగ్. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ మెకానికల్ ఇంజనీర్, యూ షుడ్ బి knowing what is IC engine, you should be knowing what is a electrical engine, difference between them, what is internal combustion, what is piston, yes or no, what is the that rate of generation of energy with per unit of burning of fuel, yes, atla, what is efficiency, things like that. What is BS6 norms, everything is related again. They'll go to BS6, they will go to NGT, they'll go to environmental consciousness, and that's how they'll go again atla. No, yeah,
personal experience efforts. And like in the, can we use hand gestures while putting forth our point in front of the board, sir?
of course you can, but they should be soft and nice. You just can't say violently, you just can't do like this, you just can't do that. Softly, yeah, I was using my hand gestures, yes or no? So that's how you can use. That's how you can use. You don't use fingers, use hands. Okay, you can use a very soft and polite manner. You can use your hands, not authoritative but politely. Now I'm kind of mixing my politeness and authoritative way of telling things because you're little younger to me and also you're not my boss. Yes or no? I'm very casual with you. But when you're sitting there, assume that they are your bosses. Then you speak. Okay? Yeah.
When you were preparing for interview, what was your daily schedule like? Like how many hours?
Daily schedule la ee hours anedi concept I'm not a big
Like newspaper
subscriber
reading
of
and that.
newspaper. Extensive, one paper at least, extensive. If you can read up two newspapers and finish them properly, or one newspaper completely, second newspaper all editorials, that should be even better. Okay, అది చేసేవాడిని. అది కాకుండా I'll tell you one more hack which I followed from Mohammad Roshan. He is my batchmate. Okay, so I talked to that guy. నేను ఇట్లా 1-to-1 మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు వాడు చెప్పాడు. ఏం చెప్పాడు వాడు? He lost out in the 2013 exam through in interview. వాడికి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో he got some 150 marks. He got into reserve list and got AFHQS. His mains were extremely good, exceptionally good marks in mains. He understood that he's good in mains. He started working for interview. Now he started charting out each and every area of his DAF, each and every area of his academic backgrounds, each and everything, and he could jot down questions and answers which are 2000 odd questions and answers in various subject topics. This he did starting immediately post mains, not after the results are out. Okay, his father calls that the Great Wall of China, or the Great Wall of Interview. Sorry, the Great Wall of Interview. There could be no question there was no question that can go out of that particular book which he prepared. In fact, in interview, no question went out. For each and every question he prepared himself, and he had a 2 to 3 line answer for each and every question. That is the level of preparation some people are doing. I never knew about that fellow until the time I got selected and went and talked to him. Then I was surprised. Imagine a Telugu guy staying in the same city preparing like that. Imagine this vast country with 137 plus crore population. Imagine what people can do. Around 35% people are in your age bracket, and many of them are getting graduated very fast. MOOCs are available. Which scheme? MOOCs. What is MOOC, by the way? Open online courses. What is the scheme? Swayam scheme. Yes, government itself is giving them free of cost courses. Okay, 250 rupees Coursera course, English proficiency. Coursera course, geopolitics. You know that? You know Coursera? Yes. Then people are getting educated left, right, center in this age of information. Okay, ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎంత అలర్ట్గా ఉండాలి? That's what people are doing. That actually alerted me up. What the hell? 2000 questions ఒకటి కూర్చొని రాసాడా వాటి ఆన్సర్స్తో పాటు. దట్ ఈస్ అంటే అట్లా అది చూసి నేను ఐ యాక్చువల్లీ ట్రై టు డూ దట్. but I could do only some 750 or 800 questions. That was again good enough. See, I ended, that fellow got 208, I think. When 215 was top mark, I got 201 and 206 is top mark. So almost now you can draw parallel with 750 questions also. Okay, it's not very easy. I'm telling you, this is the hard work. This is strategy. Things just don't happen just like that. Okay.
ఆన్లైన్లో ఎవరో క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతున్నారు.
అడిగి చెప్పండి, చదవమని చెప్పండి. Provide a knowledge is limited to few areas and subjects. What can be done by us to keep the interviews as majority? Don't do that. Better. That's what I was saying. From the areas we know. అయిపోయిందా? మాట్లాడచ్చా? By ADI. Right? నేమ్ ఏమైనా ఉందా అక్కడ? ADI అని ఉంది అంతే.
ఆన్లైన్
Okay, there is
participants, can you tell your name, those who are asking doubts?
There is this particular doubt asked by Mr. or Miss ADI, saying that as ఇక్కడ ఇట్స్ ఓకే, పట్టుకొని చెప్తాను, ఇట్స్ ఓకే, వాళ్ళకి చెప్తున్నాను. The doubt was, as we don't have extensive knowledge in most of the areas and as our knowledge is limited, can we actually or consciously guide interviewers into those areas where we are good at? I don't think you can do that because they are not, you just cannot do that. Okay, they will, if you're trying to do that, they'll identify that and they'll pull out consciously and they'll ask you in those areas which are not, where you're not good. Okay, they are elder to you and more knowledgeable, more experienced than you. You just cannot fool them. Rather, you just tell them if you don't know. Okay, if you tell them that you don't know, then they'll just keep on. There, the idea is not to evaluate your, intellectual proficiency with respect to your memory. They want to evaluate your intellectual proficiency with respect to your analysis and understanding and how you're coming across, how you're thinking. What is your blueprint of your mind? Hi sir, I'm Pavitra. Can we show our own personality in the interview or should we mold it and act consciously? I can say there are 2-3 variables. One is a constant variable where your core personality should stay like that. Okay, don't tinker with your core personality. Saying that again, as we have talked in the last 1 hour, I was telling that there should be, there should be a common agreement about human values. For example, poverty, okay, and Dalit issues and women issues and basic order in society, human welfare, progress, development, environment. These are the common values. If you are a person who is totally towards development, irrespective of what happens to environment, that is bad. Yes or no? If that is your core personality, then you have to change it. If your core personality, I don't think any of us would really, host a core personality which is going to the extremes and clear the exam. I don't think so. Okay, you clearing through and getting to interview stage itself reflects that you have a personality which is kind of balanced, and you evaluate on each and individual topics and come to a middle ground where you can, you can have a very balanced answer. So how to tell don't know when we are not? You can say, sir or ma'am, I don't know. I'm not aware of this. Pardon me. Pardon me. Ma'am, ఈ మధ్య అది వద్దంటున్నారా? ప్రధానికి మీరు ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే, you need not be extremely submissive. అతి వినయం. They also know. If you say sir, sir, ma'am, sir, they'll know what is this. Okay, what is weird behavior. Yes, in a polite manner, ma'am, I don't know. Sir, I don't know. Sir, I'm not aware of this. Simple, it's okay. Okay, if you say pardon me, or when you're differing with their opinion, then you say something. I beg to differ with you. Sir, I beg to differ with you. Sir, I have a different opinion about this. If you please allow, I can tell you that. Atla. That's how you tell. Okay, don't use a lot of submissive, statements. ఇంకేమైనా ఉందా? Any other questions? మీరు ఇంకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
పర్సనల్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అంటే ఇందాక మీరు ఉమెన్ ప్రోగ్రెస్ గురించి ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అడిగారు. అంటే ఆ క్వశ్చన్ అనగానే నాకు మైండ్లో ఒక థాట్ వచ్చింది. మన ఇండియాలో సావిత్రిబాయి కూడా ఫస్ట్ ట్రైన్ టీచర్ అని అంటారు కదా.
అది వెరీ సబ్జెక్టివ్ వే ఆఫ్ పుట్టింగ్ అప్ థింగ్స్. ట్రై టు అవాయిడ్ సచ్ థింగ్స్. ఓకే, అనుకుందాం. అయితే
అంటే ఇప్పుడు మా అమ్మ కూడా బ్యాక్వర్డ్ క్లాస్ నుంచి టీచర్ అయింది అని చెప్పొచ్చు.
మీ అమ్మ కూడా
బ్యాక్వర్డ్ కమ్యూనిటీ నుంచి టీచర్గా ట్రైన్ టీచర్గా అయ్యింది.
అంటే ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నారు మీరు? అది చెప్పొచ్చు, చెప్పకూడదని ఏం లేదు.
ప్రోగ్రెస్ జరిగింది.
ఓకే, అంటే ఇక్కడ ప్రోగ్రెస్ ఉందని మీరు చెప్తున్నారు, కానీ మీరు మీ ఇంటి గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు ఎందుకు? మీరు ఎందుకు రాజస్థాన్లో ఉన్న ఆల్వార్ గురించి మాట్లాడట్లేదు? మీరు ఎందుకు మహారాష్ట్రలోనూ ఉన్న ఒక నార్త్ ఈస్టర్న్ మహారాష్ట్రలో ఉన్న రిమోటెస్ట్ రెడ్ కార్డర్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడట్లేదు? మీరు దాని గురించి ఆలోచిస్తున్నారు లేదా అని గుర్తొస్తుంది కదా వాళ్ళకి న్యాచురలీ. మరి ఒడిశాలో ఉన్న ట్రైబ్స్ గురించి ఎందుకు మాట్లాడట్లేదు? అలాగా మీరు ఎట్లా చెప్పాలి అంటే, మనకు ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయి బేసికల్. వీ హ్యావ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ లైక్ సిఎస్ఓ, ఎన్ఎస్ఎస్ఓ, ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? దే ఆర్ కమింగ్ అప్ విత్ ఆల్ యువర్ సోషియో ఎకనామిక్ ఫ్యాక్ట్స్. ఓకే, ఆల్ ఇండికేటర్స్ దే ఆర్ కమింగ్ అప్ విత్. యూ హ్యావ్ టు, మీరు అవన్నీ చదువుకున్న తర్వాత చదువుతూ చెప్పడం చెప్పాలి. సార్ ఒకప్పుడు ఇంకా చాలా హృదయ విదారకంగా ఉండేది మన పరిస్థితి. తర్వాత మనకి ఎస్పెషల్లీ స్వాతంత్రం తర్వాత వచ్చిన తర్వాత మనము చాలా 5-year ప్లాన్స్ అని చెప్పి, లేకపోతే నేషనల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పాలసీస్ అని చెప్పి, వేరియస్ అదర్ ఇనిషియేటివ్స్ తీసుకొని వచ్చి మనం చాలా ఫీల్డ్స్లో విమెన్ని పైకి తీసుకురాగలిగాం. ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ మా ఇంట్లోనే ఇట్లా జరిగింది ఓకే అని చెప్పొచ్చు. అట్లా చెప్పాలి. మీ ఈ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఇవ్వకుండా మా ఇంట్లో మా అమ్మ ఇట్లా అయ్యారు అని చెప్పావు అనుకో, అనుకేమనిపిస్తుంది, ఈ మనిషికి వాళ్ళ ఇంట్లో విషయం తప్పితే మిగిలిన పట్టించుకోవట్లేదు అనుకుంటారు. ఓకే, అలాగే ఆల్వేస్ టేక్ అ గ్లోబల్ వ్యూ ఆర్ నేషనల్ వ్యూ. Okay, put up global reality, put up national reality, and then narrow down to your own particular thing, then give. That will be the most effective way of putting up argument, I'm telling you, in any place, not just in interview panel. Okay, ఇంట్లో కూర్చొని చాలా సదాగా మాట్లాడుకుంటున్న వాటిలో కూడా ఇలా విధంగా మాట్లాడితే people will be influenced. Okay. If I am at 2016 BTech passed out and preparing only for UPSC and state PSC exams to become civil servant, then how should I explain about the gap of all this preparation? Simple. Kiran, you can say that, sir, I have been preparing. That's it. If they ask you that you have not done anything since then, you can say honestly that I have not done anything. It is not that good, but it's okay to be honest. Okay, there are some people who prepare for 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years of time just sitting for these exams and preparing. That is okay. Rather than being dishonest and telling some lies, you can be honest and say that you are idle and preparing for these exams. So can we be so honest that, for suppose I don't want to opt IFS because if at all I get selected for it, I may not become IAS again, so I didn't opt for it. Your idea of your idea, or if your passion towards IAS and getting into IAS and similarly not opting for IFS, you can avoid this particular statement. Okay, you might be having this reasoning in your mind, but you can avoid this reasoning. You can come up with some other reasoning. Sir, I'm more interested in IAS than IFS or IPS. Simple, you can say that. Try to go in a progressive manner.
I hope this session is useful. And sir's experiences always helped from last 2-3 years, because Prem Sagar sir is sitting in the same panel and listening to the sir's class, and last year also Prashant spoke, everyone spoke in front of sir, and kindly use these inputs. Just don't take and close up in this class. Use it throughout your interview preparation and also in the interview. You will get, I think, good benefits. Apart from that, from tomorrow onwards, till the results, we'll have sessions. Every day you'll get a message, the timing of the session, and whenever it is possible, I'll invite some guest speaker who has some experience in this field. Apart from that, in a 4 or 5 days span, you are going to get the results. So before that, you make ready all your DAF, certificates and all these things. And tomorrow onwards, the task is every day 10 to 15 current affairs topics, compulsory Hindu paper, center page editorials, front page articles, Indian Express explained articles, and also Times of India editorial page. These 3 things are very, very important for interview preparation for the next 1 month. Apart from that, every candidate has to focus on their DAF and hobbies, and don't rush up at the end stage about your hobbies. Start working from now about your hobbies. Though they may say it is a hobby, you should have a serious insight and in-depth analysis of the topic. So if they say it is just a hobby, you need not go for a professional preparation. I don't suggest you to follow that type of advice. Do serious preparation about your hobby also, and we'll invite Dheeraj sir once results are out, and we'll take his final feedback, about various important hobbies and how to hone our skills to the next level after the results next week. Okay, let us conclude this session with this, and thank you very much.